Pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Curry trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
Just a little bit
follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the Hobo Racing Truck Series live on JTN from the beautiful Knoxville Raceway here in Iowa. As always, I'm your host, Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, he is one of the newest members of our JTN crew. He completes the Cup of Joe booth. He also was on the plane with me from Talladega up here to Knoxville, Mr. Joseph Weaver. Weaver, welcome to beautiful corn-filled Iowa.
Well, Joe, we're happy to be here at the Knoxville Raceway doing some dirt racing tonight with the Hobo Truck Series. Had a nice, fun flight. Got to kick the back of your chair a little bit. Hope everybody at home's ready for some fun racing tonight.
Going to be a fun time. 120 laps for these drivers. We're going to be able to go about 55 laps on a tank of fuel. So 1, if not 2 pit stops, depending on how things shake out. Truck racing always interesting on the dirt, like we'll see around this flat track tonight, Weaver. While we were watching practice earlier on tonight, I noticed drivers really staying focused. You can see the line worn into the track from this camera angle at the end of pit lane. Drivers really focusing, though, on this 1 to 2, maybe 1.5, 2 lane wide groove.
Yeah, Joe, the reality of racing dirt on NR is you're going to want to be on that bottom line through the corners. That's going to be the fast line around this track. You're going to want to not get too sideways getting through the corners. A lot of management and the slip angle tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these drivers can manage to make passes and how they get through these corners when we get to racing 2 wide and 3 wide.
How you navigate the traffic, how you navigate the race length, and how you navigate those pesky cautions is going to be all too important tonight. Happy hour has kicked off, Weaver. That means it's time for you to take us through tonight's starting lineup.
That is correct, Joe. Looking at the qualifying order now as they file in, we have the 31 of Jeff Stakanis on pole with the 17.303, blazing fast time. Starting on the outside pole, just 100th off of him, is going to be the 33 of Mark DeCenza. On the second row, we have the 41 of Josh Boyer and the 6 of Rich Napick. Row 3, we have Rob Keller and Jeff Fugate. Row 5, we have the 85 of Ricky Bumbalo and Duke Sorensen in the 59. Row 6 is the 25 of Ron Simpson and the 44 of Dan Rubino. Row 6, we have the 07 of Steve Rubino and the 27 of Frank Baum. Row 7 is the 73 of Herman Reese and the 78 of Ryan Johnson. Row 8, we have the 00 of Gary Jackson and the 14 of DJ Hensky. On the last row, we have the 28 of Keith McLean and the 19 of Rod Weston.
So a tightly knit field here tonight from Knoxville. Going to be a fun one in store for us up here in the booth and you, the fans at home. And as always, cannot thank you enough for tuning in to JTN here on a Sunday night. Make sure if you haven't already, you drop a like on the video and subscribe. It does so much to help support us as we continue to build this JTN brand. This, of course, was your Circle B Diecast race preview. Remember, you can use code JTN at checkout now at CircleBDiecast.com to receive free shipping on your order of $30 or more. Circle B Diecast is your home for all your racing-related memorabilia needs. Watching Josh Boyer out on track right now at Rocky Boots Ford. No, Josh and crew, a bunch of drivers were out there in the garage area watching the U.S. Open earlier today. You're not a big golf guy, right, Weaver?
If it's on TV, I'll watch it, but I'm not going out of my way. But I did hear it was a pretty exciting event up there in what is Massachusetts, where they hold the U.S. Open.
Yes.
I
Sure, it was this
a,
year.
Had a tight one.
I heard the same thing as well. Couldn't tell you who won or who did well, but nonetheless a good Father's Day tradition. A very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hopefully you're able to enjoy some time off, kick back, relax a little bit. And if you're not a father yourself, hopefully you're able to wish the father a happy Father's Day if they are still with you. That was the most awkward way I could have went about saying that, Weaver. And I am now regretting ever doing anything serious here on JTN.
Yeah, Joe, not your best of work there, but we do have a treat in store for all the fathers tonight here with this fun race. Hopefully, you might have had a chance to see the IRL Truck Series running here last night. I know it was head-to-head with the SRX. You might have chose to watch that event at Five Flags instead, but if you did, you noticed there was a lot of racing throughout the track last night in the Truck Series. They were kind of running up high, looked like they kind of worked the track a little bit, kind of brought in that low line a little bit through the race. And we're seeing here in Happy Hour drivers running the low line, kind of drifting up, kind of attributes with this track being so flat, it's really easy to slip up these corners.
West in there with a big struggle, Josh Boyer, and that's what's going to be so hard about tonight. If you get out of line, out of the groove, the truck's coming behind you. They're at such a fast pace that as Boyer going to do a freezing and flip, oh my goodness.
Something else you have to look out for at this track are these giant berms they have on the inside of these corners. Like we've seen there, they can jump out and get you.
You want to go for the low-hanging fruit right now?
I'll let you do this one, Joe.
Hey, we had a camera angle of it. It was funny, we were talking about in our pre-race meeting, Weaver and I, about how it's kind of weird, people going after Fox Sports and stuff for that type of thing, but here we are making the joke.
Hey, you know, we said it was weird, but the majority are like that, but, you know, if that works for them, if they like that kind of banter, then, you know, we'll give them that kind of banter.
I would like to send out a warm welcome, and Rubino tuning in. I think if the TV screen is blurry, if there's a way for you to go down to the gear icon in the settings and turn up the resolution, the TV might not have the strongest stream through the YouTube app. I know that's usually the thing when we're streaming these, we have to have such a high bit rate to get you the clear pictures. Sometimes the internet connection isn't strong enough, or YouTube kind of sets your internet connection down a little bit, so it gives you the lower quality. But if you can find that settings wheel, flip it up to 1080p, that should make the screen look a little bit better for you. YouTube always holding us back, Weaver. I mean, it never fails.
You know, we got to work with what they give us, you know.
We are a partner, though, so that's a big thanks to all the fans that subscribe to us here on JTN. So, you know, got that going for us. On the pole, of course, Jeff Stakenis, Mark DeSenza making row number 1 a Chevy Lockout, then 2 Fords behind them with Josh Boyer, Rich Napick, Rob Keller, Jeff Fugate, Ricky Bumbalo, Duke Sorensen, Ron Simpson, and Dan Rubino, your top 10 here tonight from Knoxville.
Drivers, start your engines.
As we hear the command and these truckers get fired up, we get ready to go racing here in Iowa. Welcome in, Barbara. Thank you for tuning in. The Rubino fans are tuning in full force tonight, Weaver. You'll love to see it here with Hobo Racing.
The Beano faithfuls tuning in, love to see it. Hopefully they can put on a good show for you tonight, as I assume all these drivers are going to put on a good show for us.
Having to come from 10th and 11th on the starting grid tonight. On pole, though, nothing but clear track out in front of him. It is Jeff Stekenis in the 31. Green flag in the air, and we're underway here from Knoxville.
Jeff Stekenis going to get a good run through 1 and 2, clear up high.
Trouble further back with Rob Keller. Ricky Bumbalo up the track. Dan Rubino into the outside wall. Trucks getting lost in the dust. Already we're starting to see it single file out inside the top 10 for a side-by-side battle there with Ron Simpson and Dan Rubino. Rubino going to go around.
Heavy contact up and over. He's going to be stuck on his lid there in 3 and 4.
Like a turtle there in front of the 5-hour energy can and wall and Toyota signs and Casey's, and 44 going to get a tow back to pit lane. Let's get you a replay. You saw it live, you'll see it again here. Just a product of this close racing.
Yeah, Joe, looks like Dan Rubino just venturing out just a little too wide there, got in the rough stuff.
Well, and Dan
comes around on him.
Dan was so gracious to wear the visor cam tonight. You get to go on board for the flippity flip. And to take the folks behind the scenes, more of the, the sim itself, the way that the dirt physics work when folks make these tracks, because it has a lot to do with the tracks, right? They kind of grip up that outside line to get the sensation that it's not as good as maybe the slicker bottom, so that's kind of why you saw that truck flip there all by itself. A good old-fashioned grip flip, as it were.
Yeah, Joe, when we're talking about the grip levels on these tracks, in general, the whole surface is definitely a little more gripped up than you would expect on, say, a pavement oval, so if you get spun around, it can definitely hook onto those tires and flip you, much like it can happen in real life on dirt.
You love to see it. Art imitating life. Or life imitating art. I don't know which one it is at this point. Working our first caution of the night, though. 44 Dan Rubino up and over down there in turns 3 and 4. Stekenis still our leader. Welcome in, Judy also tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Joseph Peacher tuning in. That's a new name, so welcome, that I haven't seen before, so welcome, Joseph. It's a very nice name, I would have to say, as a fellow Joe. Why don't you say the same, Weaver, as we get ready to go back green?
Absolutely, big fan of the name.
Jeff Staketis with control here for the restart. Mark DeSenza, Josh Boyer, Rich Knappich, Jeff Fugate. Green flag, we're back underway.
Staketis getting a good jump. He's really hooking that low line. Ryan just on the edge of that berm. Senza though, not letting him pull away too far. He's got him right on his bumper here.
Good launch up off the corner there for the 33. DeSenza getting a good arc, getting that good old classic dirt track arc through the corner right now. Maybe compared to Staketis taking it more like a paved oval there on the bottom. You can see the 33 hanging it out a little bit more right now on the back end.
Yeah, Joe definitely looks like he's kind of holding it on the outside through the corners like you said, arcing it in on exit, getting that good run off.
Sometimes tonight, too, and you saw it there with the 41 right behind the 33. Truck's going to take off sometimes on corner exits. It's going to grip up, take you towards that outside wall, and that's really where you're playing with fire, because if it grips up too much, you hit that outside, well, I guess it's not a wall, it's more like an Armco barrier, but you hit that fencing, and it could prove pretty disastrous for you.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. You're definitely trying to manage this car through the corners. That's the best way. Oh, the 33 goes around, saves it, but he got up on that berm, like we said. That's what you got to look out for at this track.
Well, we stay green. Let's get you a replay. What happened here with DeSenza? Yeah, as you said, just gets up on the berm, unsettles the truck, keeps it going straight, though everyone able to get on by. But DeSenza going to fall all the way to the back of the top 10.
Tough break, and that just shows you the fine line that you're running in these corners and how much just a small mistake like that can really cost you when you get that truck upset, driving up like that, getting almost all the way around. You're going to lose a lot of time.
Now the 27 a bomb into the outside wall there off of 4. That allowed the 78 and 28. Ryan Johnson and old Mac Daddy Keith McLean to get on by. 27 still hitting the fence. Something's wrong there with that truck. And Rubino going another lap down here in the 44. Rubino not having a fun time. You can even see the damage there on the roof where that truck went over.
Yeah, Joe, definitely seen that damage affect the handling of that 44 truck. Back towards the front of the field, I'm noticing this 41 of Josh Boyer trying to get closer to our leader right now. He seems to be getting close in the corner, and then he kind of falls back a little bit.
Visor cam here with Boyer in the 41. You can kind of see how he's attacking that track. The wheel, pretty stable in his hands. Not a lot of sawing on it right now. You can see the back and forth motion there as he's trying to get that car to turn as we're under caution for the second time tonight. Looks like it's the 78 Ryan Johnson around. And he's going to go for a tumble as well. So round big hit there from the 19. Look at that flip. Sprint car flips out here with these trucks. Did not expect to see that. Now look at it.
Couple drivers electing to come down and get some service here on this yellow. Tires not really going to be too much of a concern tonight. You could definitely run these tires all the way to the end. Only thing you really got to worry about is your fuel consumption.
What we heard too, tires are going to get colder. They're going to reach that ambient temperature, which was 70 degrees here tonight. As the run goes on, and as those tires get too cold, they lose their you lose some of the drivability of the race truck. You see, I believe one of those takers on the pit lane was 33, Mark DeSenza. Back to the field here. Herman Reese, I think, also. You see Frank Baum and Rod Weston also on the pit lane. Live pit stops tonight.
Yeah, luckily for these guys, budget is of no concern. They could bring their full pit crew wherever they need to go.
Not worried about being a standalone event?
We got money to blow here.
These truck lights are off. We're going to go back green flag. Lap 25 here. Has been Jeff Stekenis out in front of the field all night so far after qualifying on the pole. There's a new challenger there in second with Josh Boyer. Rich Knappick, Jeff Fugate, Duke Sorensen, your top five. Green flag, we're back underway. Top two already breaking away from the rest of the field. Knappick sits there in third. Everyone kind of getting things back underneath them. Sounded like someone spun down there in three. Caution is out. 00 Gary Jackson around. Being aggressive here on the restarts.
Joe, I'm having a little trouble with my monitor at the moment. I'm going to give it a quick restart.
Okay. See Jackson going around there in that 00 Gorilla Glue dodge. Gets it fired off, back and away. Minimal damage on the 00. Folks, would like to remind you we've got a bunch of great races coming up here on JTN. Next up for us, June 21st, longest day of the year. We're going to be at Kentucky, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with the Maverick Cup Series. Then the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from Chicagoland at 9:05 on Tuesday, or on Thursday night, excuse me. And then the Fast Renegade Cup Series heads to the Nashville Superspeedway Sunday, June 26th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Those races, of course, live right here only on JTN. Would like to remind you, if you want to check out Hobo Racing, join in on all the fun. You can head on over to hoboracing.com. We got it linked down in the video description below.
All right, there we go, Joe. We're all set now.
You have me worried there.
You got to roll with the punches in this business, Joe. As long as we get it all figured out, ironed out by the at least halfway point, we'll be good.
Barbara out there having some vision issues, sending our well wishes. Dan Rubino going to get back on the lead lap here by virtue of getting the lucky dog for the second time. So despite the Or I believe he's still 2 laps down, isn't he?
As he runs, he is listed as 1 lap down. So once he goes around, he will be.
Well, he's in front of the leader right now.
Yeah, so he'll remain 1 lap down.
Yes. Okay. So Rubino will need 1 more caution to get back on the lead lap. It's going to be hard to make up those laps the old-fashioned way, but you know.
There goes the driver, that 44 as the pace truck lights are out.
Going back green next time by at the line. Just to Kennis, Josh Boyer, Rich Dampick, your top 3 at the moment. Pace truck is in, gives way to Stakenis. Green flag, we're back underway.
Another good restart there by the 31, just Canis. Pulling out to about a 2 truck length gap on Josh Boyer. As Josh Boyer gets in the wall a little bit there off turn 4.
Catches it just a little bit. No harm, no foul on that Ford.
Absolutely, Joe. If you run a dirt race and you don't come back with at least 1 bent quarter panel, you weren't racing hard enough.
Keith McLean looking to the inside of Hinsky there in the 14. Wasn't able to get anything done that time. Herman Reese, the points leader, behind McLean. You also got, again, Mark DeSenza, who started on the front row. Almost spun early.
85 around. Ooh, big miss there by Keith McLean there in turn 4.
So Ricky Bumbalo around here working lap 34. Let's get you the replay. No help to this 85. And something we see. It looks like he hits that berm.
Yep, Joe just got up on that berm with the left side tires. Wasn't able to save it. Went around there. Everybody doing a good job getting by him, though.
Now comes the question, are any of the leaders going to come down pit lane? Josh Boyer faked like he was. Rod Simpson, Keith McLean both deciding, electing to come on down. Although Keith now stopping at the end of the pit lane. I don't know if he's just trying to give up some track position.
Possibly might have missed his stall. But you know, Joe, we see how this 28 of Keith McLean's running here, and that really shows you how difficult this discipline of driving could be for some drivers. You know, Keith McLean, he's a pretty strong driver on the ovals. He's usually pretty fast. We see him mired in the back here for most of his race so far. So he comes back down, must have just missed his pit box that first time through. But a race like this on dirt can really open it up for some other drivers who may not feel the strongest on your regular pavement ovals to come out here and show what they got on a different discipline.
As a driver, do you like being challenged by having a different discipline of racing on the schedule here?
I think so, Joe. I think it's nice having a good mix, a little bit of everything.
Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in here to JTN Tonight. I'm Joe Swansky. He's Joseph Weaver. Making up your cup of Joe up here in the booth. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday night, a Father's Day night. A happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. As always, though, cannot thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Make sure, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and subscribe. It does so much to help support us right here on JTN. Pace truck lights are out. Going back, green flag racing this next time by. Jeff Stukenis going to have control. Josh Boyer, Rich Knappick, Jeff Fugate, and once again, Duke Sorensen rounding out your top 5. Ready to go back racing, Weaver?
I am. I was just looking down in pit road. 28 Keith McLean had an extended stay. He's went a couple laps down there.
Might be taking one of those patented breaks.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes the happy hour isn't enough to get everything out.
Green flag. We're back underway. See Ron Simpson trying to make a move there on Gary Jackson in the 0-0. Ricky Bumblow also trying to charge back here in that 85. Got Beavis and Butthead on that car. Or truck, rather. I did the thing. Weaver. I did the thing.
I've been making sure. I've been checking myself, saying it real slow, so. Just ahead of them, we see Mark DeCenza trying to make a move on the 73.
I was talking about it a few moments ago, but Herman Reese, your current points leader. Second place in points, Harry Kodian not participating tonight, had other prior obligations, normally in the 13 truck, not here again tonight, so gonna be at even more of a deficit to the points leader, Herman Reese, in that 73. Cadillac Racing doing a good job here in the Hobo Racing Truck Series this season.
Yeah, Herman Reese been able to put some good runs together in that 73. Looking to have another one. All he needs to do is bring it home in one piece, get a good finish here, and like you said, going to be able to extend that points lead.
Herman, not a fan of dirt racing, just like you, Weaver. At least in the sim. In the sim.
I was going to say, John, I'm a pretty big fan, a pretty good advocate for dirt racing. I do believe should leave the dirt cars to the dirt racing, but
what an original opinion.
Everybody has their own opinions, you know?
What an original opinion by you, Weaver.
I don't know. We had a pretty polarizing fan vote last night.
We did.
I think we got another one today. Do you
Nah.
How do you like stock cars on dirt?
I'm gonna keep my win streak, him control over the polls, by not posting that one. I have a feeling if we ask the fans at home, if we made it about Bristol dirt versus, running an actual purpose-built dirt track, there'd be a lot of difference between those two votes as well.
I agree with that one. We could talk all night on that subject.
Let's go on board once again here with Josh Boyer. Get a good view what the driver sees behind the wheel. Josh trying to hunt down that 31 of Stukenis. You saw Stukenis. And everything about dirt racing, Weaver, everyone seems to make 100 mistakes a lap, but it's just about how you recover from those mistakes.
Absolutely, Joe. It's all about managing mistakes. Really, the whole idea of dirt racing is you're slowly wrecking the car through the corners, and you're just trying to catch it and go as fast as you can while doing that. Especially in a game like NR, the one big thing that you don't have here that you do have in the real world and some other sims is a big part of dirt racing is the changing conditions, the track changes and adapting to those changes. Obviously, we don't have any changing track types as we run them here, but it's still, you have to manage that line you're running, and if you don't run the line that you want to run, you got to manage how you're driving in the opposite line.
You see up in front, Stukenis trying to get around Gary Jackson, put the 0-0 lap down. Able to do so. That was Boyer's big chance, big send to the inside to try to get by this 0-0 quick. Maybe side by side down here into the corner, and that really screws up your entry when you got a vehicle to your outside.
Yeah, entering the corner very low. You want to get a nice arc into the corners here. Josh Boyer unable to do that time. Still being able to hold this gap about where it's been the whole time. Not really losing a whole lot of time. Also not gaining a lot.
Back here on board with Jeff Fugate in the 9, trying to get around Rich Knappick. He's to the inside. Another one of our visor cams. Got visor cams on every driver here tonight. Big thanks to Dan Rubino for hooking us up with those. You saw the 6 actually going to slide back 2 spots. Going to slide back behind Duke Sorensen in the 59.
Yeah, notice there in turn 4, he kind of let off. Just realized he wasn't going to get it done there on the outside. Minimize the amount of time he's running side by side. Slow down just a little bit. Slot back in there to 5th place.
You a fan of Maker's Mark?
I've only had it a couple times. It's not bad. Not bad.
I'd like to remind you folks to drink responsibly at home. I did get that right?
Always drink responsibly and never drink and drive.
Because that'd be unresponsible to do that, right?
Probably one of the most irresponsible things you could do.
Did I really just say unresponsible? I think I did.
I'm not going to hold it to you, Joe.
Sekennis out in front. Got Josh Boyer running there in second. These two have kind of broken away from the rest of the field.
That they have, Joe. And it looks like Josh Boyer's closed in just a little bit on Jeff Sekennis.
Folks, would like to once again thank you for tuning in to JTN tonight, and the best way, of course, as always, to support us here on JTN is to make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But if you can't go that extra mile or you want to help support and rep the brand, you can head on over now to the JTN merch store. Pick yourself up some JTN logo merch. It's got our logo on it. Just as the name implies, JTN logo merch now available on the JTN merch store. Again, got it linked down in the video description below.
And if any of y'all at home watching now happen to pick up some of that JTN logo merch or any of the other great merch on the merch store, go ahead and tweet us a picture of it, add us on it. I'm sure Joe will give y'all a retweet, give you a follow.
You never know. You never know. Folks, would also like to remind you, we got more great content on the way, including live races. We talked to you about them earlier on tonight, but of course, also hope for all of our non-live content is now over on JTN2, including race highlight videos of our live streams like the one for tonight. Should have that highlight video out by Tuesday this week. Fake Racers podcast, and much, much more, again, available over on JTN2. You can go check it out now, youtube.com/JTN2. Or it's also linked down in the video description below. That's probably the easier way to go check it out. Or you can just search JTN2. Pretty sure it's the only one that should come up, or at least you should be able to tell, because it's got a big old newfangled JTN2 logo. Fake Racers podcast, much, much more, JTN2. That was a ramble session, Weaver. I think that's where Bristol said that you're supposed to start interrupting me.
I thought Bristol was going to do it. You didn't have Paul on your shoulder.
Nah, he was working on something else, you know?
No.
Sekennis coming to pit lane.
Fuel window is open.
And I am sure these drivers want to make these pit stops under caution. You're going to lose a couple laps here pitting under green. But you have to come for fuel eventually. You're in that window, as you said. Get about 50-55 under green flag conditions. Obviously, we had all the cautions to start the night, so these drivers were able to go a little bit further than that. And once we hit that lap 70 mark, you're well within that window. So you see Josh Boyer coming to pit lane. Jeff Fugate staying out another lap. Going to get one lead.
Sorensen in 59 also coming down that time.
You're probably not going to worry about those tires. Maybe you take right sides, maybe you take left sides, because now I'm seeing Josh Boyer have it jacked up on the right and believe they got left sides ready to put on that truck too. Maybe not. There they are. Again, the big thing there is the temperature. Tires actually getting cooler as the run goes on. So, they grip up a little better first couple laps, and then they start to go away. just because of that temperature, but you see Josh Boyer able to come out in front of Jeff Stakenis on track.
Making up a lot of time there on pit road.
Digging right now is driver number 41, Josh Boyer, but in the lead, Rich Knappich, he comes down the pit lane. Should give way to Mark DeSenza here in the 33, so DeSenza back up at the front, and he can go a couple more laps right now. Has come down the pit lane.
I wouldn't expect him in for maybe another 10 laps with where he pit, and like you said, how much fuel you can save under a yellow.
Well, and part of why you do that, too, is if you get a caution, you can trap a lot of these guys a lap, if not 2 laps down. So, they get you some of that track position that you lost, and it gives you a big leg up on the competition. See Keller there in the 57 having some issues.
Yeah, Joe, when you're out here running for that last green run that we had, it's still green, but the last run we had before the pit stops there, you kind of get in a rhythm and pitting, kind of throw that off. You got to go back out here, get back in that rhythm. Might take you a couple laps.
Welcome in, Corwin Tipper. Thanks for tuning in. It is a small field here tonight, but I think a really good field of truckers. Good to see. I think a couple guys preoccupied with some Father's Day festivities and not able to make it to the track tonight, but nonetheless, so far we've seen some really good racing coming up on 40 laps to go.
Yeah, Joe, definitely seen some good race and just seen a big shake-up with these green flag pit stops. And now 33, Mark DeSenza, your leader. Still have yet seen a pit stop out of him, but he did make a pit stop under yellow earlier in this race.
And here he comes down the pit lane. That, I believe, gives way to Herman Reese to take over the lead. 73 going to lead a lap here. Continue to grow that points lead. We're just cycling through these drivers right now, aren't we?
Yeah, and as he takes over the lead there, 73 Herman Reese running his fastest lap of the race that time by. So staying out here, you're not really losing much time. There's no fall off on the tires that you're gonna be losing time to the leaders or the drivers that have already pit. So if you can stay along, you want to stay out as long as you can. You're really hoping for that yellow.
It's always fun when we have these long green flag runs and we kind of see these cycles get broken up. We saw it last night with the USORL from Talladega. Obviously, all the green flag pit stops we had there. Seeing it kind of tonight with this one green flag stop we'll have to make, but green flag pit stops, they love to shake up a race and give you new players at the front of the field for a while, and well, they might just shake up the finish of this race too, because we saw Josh Boyer was able to get around the 31 of Jeff Stakenis, still out in front of that vehicle. Let's try to find them on track. There's the 41, there's the 31, so about half a straightaway, about 2.5 seconds call it between the 41 and the 31 right now.
Yeah, he is, but he has now ran up onto the back of the 85 of Ricky Bumbalo. He is your third place truck right now. Not really giving him an easy time to. He's not going to be letting by that 41 of Josh Boyer. Obviously, he's on the lead lap. Josh Boyer racing to get his lap back at this moment in time. You You see the leaders not too far ahead of them.
And it's a swarm up here as well. You see there's Steve Rubino, 73 Herman Reese coming down the pit lane. He taps out, gives way to Ron Simpson, now the leader. Folks, see 17 people tuning in right now. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure, if you would be so kind, hit that like button on the video, and if you're new around these parts, click subscribe. Cannot thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Would like to remind you about a bunch of great races coming up. You'll see them on the left-hand portion of your screen. Next time we're live, going to be Tuesday night Maverick Cup Series from Kentucky. Always wild races there with Maverick. Again, you can check out those races and much, much more right here on JTN. And if you want to get in on the action here at Hobo Racing with not only the Truck Series, Modifieds, and the Cup Series, Cup Tuesdays and Modifieds Thursdays, you can check out their website down in the video description below.
See our leaders are going by the lap truck of Frank Bond. Had a little bit of a hold up there, but they all got by clean. Josh Boyer also through. It definitely looks like Justin Cannon is getting a little closer to the bumper of that 41. That is your race for the lead once these pit stops cycle through.
Cannon's going to get by the 27.
We were talking about it last night. We saw a big magic act from Garrett Sidnor in the USRL Talladega race. Josh Boyer giving us a little action of some magic there. Had about a half a lap disappearing act. Ricky Bumbleau to the inside of Ron Simpson. He's going to take the lead here.
Pass for the lead. Bumbleau takes it. Now here comes Josh Boyer looking for the lap back.
He's looking at the inside. Ron Simpson gets low. He's going to be pitting this time by.
There goes Josh Boyer, going to get his lap back the hard way. Passing the 85 under green. Have to think Bumbleau going to be coming to pit lane this time.
Looks like it, Joe. He's going down pit road now. See what kind of stop these guys can make here. They were able to run it long. Maybe they could take a little bit less fuel here.
Let's go on board here with Steve Rubino in the 07 Hobo Racing Ford all over the back bumper of DJ Hinsky right now down the back straightaway. Again, you can just see how unsteady these trucks are. I know in the rearview mirror right now he sees the race leader, Josh Boyer.
Yeah, Joe, that's a real tough thing to manage. You know the leader's coming up behind you, and you're having your own race here for position. You don't want to lay over too much, but you also want to be kind. You know, we're all out here just having fun, so.
I mean, and these visor cams do a good job too. If you look at the tachometer there in the middle of the screen, you can see the modulation of the throttle through the corners. He hits the rev there going in. Know these drivers, you said, I think in the open, going about 140 down as the corner sometimes. That could be an exaggeration, but very quick corner entry speeds tonight with these trucks, with all things considered, especially having to slide around these corners on the dirt.
Yeah, Joe, thankfully I do not think they're hitting 140. Looks like we're getting around 115 into the corners, a little more a safe speed.
You saw Steve had a shot there to get to the inside of the 14, just couldn't keep it off the corner. Back outside the truck, you can see you're able to, Weaver, and take the fans and me through this. We're seeing guys, there's some guys that seem to be able to make up the ground on the entry of the corner, and then other guys a little bit better on exit. How similar is that to normal pavement oval?
Well, Joe, it really is similar because you got to think about how you're entering the corner and how you're exiting the corner. We're seeing a lot of people really attack entry. You're going in with that. Oh, no! Steve Rubino gets turned by our leader. Caution is out.
Oh, that's a little interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, Joe, look like Josh Boyer's. He's had a hard time with some lap vehicles so far this race. Tight racing in the corners there, just got a little too tight.
Yeah, big send there by Boyer to the inside. Says, scoot out of the way, Steve. The 07 sent into the outside wall.
Joe, did we miss something?
Did we?
I'm looking at the timing and scoring, and it has the 41 of Josh Boyer as back in 11th.
Did he come down the pit lane there under caution to serve a penalty?
This was before. As they were running, I'm looking in the replay right now, he was listed in 12th there at the time of that yellow.
I'm going to let you do the research. I'm going to go on board with Josh here. I wonder if he blinked across the line, Weaver. He said he had some internet issues.
I'm thinking that is going to have to be the case looking back at it now. Yeah, Joe, that does look to be what happened there.
Well, Jeff Skednis is okay with it. He's going to take... He has the race lead here under caution. Coming up on 10 laps to go, then Jeff Fugate and Mark DeSenza, your top three.
Keep an eye on that 33 truck, Mark DeSenza. He was able to give... Ooh, sorry.
Got a little dirt in your eye?
Yeah. He was able to give Jeff Canis a good run for his money earlier in this race before he had that incident that sent him to the back. He's been working his way up all race. But now he's back within striking distance. See what he can do here on this restart. It's dusty out here, Joe. Mighty dusty.
It is dusty. Pace truck lights are out. Jeff Stakanis leading us back to green from the lead. The 07 of Steve Rubino a lap down right now. Second truck in line. Then Jeff Fugate, Mark DeSenza, the rest of your top three. As we run, Duke Sorensen, Ron Simpson, your top five. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag. We're back underway. It'll be 11 and a half laps remaining down the back straightaway. Stakanis with control of this race. Fugate trying to find a way around Steve Rubino. Rubino into the outside wall. 9 sends it down to the bottom. Steve going to be the good guy. Let these leaders on by. DeSenza going to get around the 07 as well. Goes Sorensen to the bottom. Almost close. Racing contact there. 10 laps to go, right, Weaver?
That is correct, Joe. 10 laps that time by.
10 laps to go here with our TWV 10 to go, folks. Would like to remind you can head on over to GardenLightsDirect.com because from porches to patios to more, they got you all covered with those outdoor lights. Again, GardenLightsDirect.com here on your TWV 10 to go. Now 9 to go for Jeff Stakanis. Led a majority of this race up until pitting. Pit stop shook things up. And now Stakanis, your leader.
look out at that 9 of Jeff Fugate. He's definitely getting a little bit bigger in the mirror of Jeff Stacanis. Following him close behind is the 33.
I don't know if we can call this a Jeff and Jeff show right now, but further on back, you got some guys slicing and dicing. Herman Race, Ricky Bumbleau, Rich Knappick, Josh Boyer trying to climb back up through the field. Trucks running that outer line, making it tough for us to see things from some of these higher up cameras, but we love to see these guys absolutely slicing and dicing through these corners right now.
Well, Joe, there's an old adage, if the race car driver's on the track, if it's paved, he's going to use it, but it doesn't have to be paved here at Knoxville. They're trying to use all this track right now that they can.
Trying to use all the racing groove possible. Watching the battle for second as the leader, Stacanis, continues to pull away. Jeff Fugate, Mark DeSenza battling for the right to be on the second step on the podium at night, and this battle heating up through turns 1 and 2 right now. You see the 33 taking the wider line, trying to get some momentum to maybe, just maybe, give it a dive down into one of these corners.
Yeah, DeSenza definitely looking for a different line. You're going to have to place that truck somewhere where that truck in front of you is not. Got to run a different line than Jeff at this point in the race if you want to get by him.
And that's just because his truck's there. It's not like a dirty, clean air situation as we would see on an intermediate, right?
No, Joe, yeah, you definitely aren't going to be feeling any effects of the aero here on this short of a track, but you really just need to find somewhere where you're going to be a little bit quicker and somewhere where you can put that truck to make the pass if you do end up getting up to the side of the 9 as the white flag is out this time by.
White flag in the air. Final lap here from Knoxville. It's Jeff Stacanis out in front as the battle rages on for second behind him. Fugate trying to hold off DeSenza. They are too far back, though. Off of turn number 4. It's going to be Jeff Stacanis taking home the victory here at Knoxville.
Fugate is going to hold on for second with DeSenza getting third.
A clean little race tonight here out in Iowa. Won by driver 31, Jeff Stacanis. He burns it down for the fans here in Knoxville. And no, folks, we won't go side by side.
Tough break there for the 41 of Josh Boyer. Going to end up in 8th position after that mishap with the internet.
That should be our Brad's internet moment of the race.
If there was ever a moment that would fit that award, it was that one.
I think Jeff was going to try to go park it in Victory Lane, but Victory Lane race platform here. We'll move on to our post-race coverage. Again, talk with our podium finishers. Get those results on your screens. Jeff Stacanis, your winner here tonight, followed by Jeff Fugate and Mark DeSenza. Folks, cannot thank you enough, as always, for tuning in to JTN here on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hopefully you're able to spend a nice, relaxing Sunday with the family, and as always, cannot thank you enough for tuning in to JTN. Weaver, you got any words to the wise for maybe some drivers watching this race tonight, using it for their film study?
If you have a controller, give it a shot on dirt. If you normally use a wheel, I've found it's a little quicker with a controller than a wheel on dirt sometimes. For some people, that is.
Do you know why that is?
I think for me, I felt it was a little quicker on the inputs. And a little easier to get on and off the throttle, like you were saying earlier when we were looking at the rev limiter.
Yes.
It was you could see the drivers really having to work that throttle through the corners, and if you're only hitting the trigger and as opposed to a full pedal, you can easier get in and out of the throttle, go from full to no throttle a lot easier and quicker.
Well, it looks like our driver's already in the media center. Let's go ahead and start by bringing in our race winner. He's the driver of the number 31 Chevrolet, Jeff Stakanis. Jeff, pole, 87 laps led, dominating performance. That's got to feel pretty good here on Father's Day.
Yeah, feels really good on Father's Day. Had a good truck, though, that's for sure.
Well, take us through the race, because at one point it looked like the 41 had hopped you on the pit lane.
Yeah, the first pit
Mhm.
stall is kind of weird. It's kind of diagonal
Okay.
to get in there, and I knew once I took the pole that I would have problems, so I tried to practice it in warm-ups there for a bit, but I could not pit myself. And when I just went in to take fuel, I ran it just a little bit backed up, and it pitted me. So I lost maybe a second to him.
Okay.
So that was where I lost that at. And then he blinked out, electrical problem there, and that was his end, So that's too bad for him, because he was running good.
Well, you get a lucky break by virtue of he gets that break that you had the first pit stall and had to deal with all of those things. You get the break of him having I think it's a clean wash, but
Right.
So obviously it sounds like pole position wasn't the advantage that it normally is, but how important was it, though, to be out in front of this field at the start of this thing? Dirt racing, everyone kind of approaches it differently. There's a lot of difference in skill level and experience with these tracks here in NR. Was being out in pole more important just because of having the fresh racetrack out in front of you?
Yes, that, and you're not having to find a different line to pass somebody or anything like that. So I think just running out front, I mean, clean air is king, especially at a dirt track. But once you could find your line on the track, I mean, it was just go as fast as you can.
Well, one more question for you before we let you do all the fun stuff. That last caution comes out. Thoughts when everyone was going to get bunched back up? I think you ended up having a buffer car there with Steve lining up behind you. What were the thoughts when you saw that last yellow come out, knowing that you had a pretty decent sized lead there?
Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't have any thoughts. I thought, just stay calm and just hit your marks. Just keep hitting your marks. I knew I was fast.
Yeah.
And I knew I could run low, and I was really, really working the throttle as in 1 and 2. But I was just hit my marks is all I needed to do.
Well, folks, he's always cool as a cucumber, whether he's in victory lane or crashed out on lap 3. It's Jeff Stakanis. Jeff, before we let you go, though, floor is yours. Again, happy Father's Day to you, but floor is yours. Family, friends, sponsors, you know what to do, buddy.
Yeah, thanks to all the sponsors and the family and friends that support me. And the Hobo League is awesome. These guys are awesome to run with and joke around and talk with. And the admins are great. And couldn't ask for a bunch of better guys. So, and all my teammates that help me out week after week, these guys are bar none.
As always, Jeff, congratulations on the victory, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck next week. I believe you guys should be heading to Nashville, is that?
Yeah, not on Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that.
Okay, all right. Well, we're cheering for you. We always like to see that 31 up in front. Don't tell anyone else we said that, though.
10-4. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff Stakanis, driver of the 31-year winner here tonight. Let's go ahead and next bring in our second Jeff. He's the driver of the number 9, Jeff Fugate. Jeff, you got a copy?
Yeah.
I wanted to say it was the Jeff and Jeff show, but you had Mark DeSenza to battle with there at the end to take us through that last 10 laps.
Wow, that was he was. It's so hard to pass here though, and I just knew if I just run a line, try to run a decent line, and keep it straight, I'd probably be okay.
Do you think about it in terms of, like, we talk about intermediates, we talk about clean versus dirty air a lot. Do you think about it in terms of that, or do you just think about it, okay, what line is he running? How do I take that line away? I don't know if that question even makes sense, but I think you're going to have a good answer.
Yeah. This track, it didn't. It was really just run your line, what
Mhm.
what you were at best at. You weren't. I wasn't worried about. I wasn't trying to take his line away. At a blacktop track with aero and all involved, that would. But this track was try not to get the truck bogged down, keep the RPMs up. So just run the line, and if you run the line, your truck runs the best at. It's going to pull up off the corner, and he's going to basically be the same line to get that same good run. So you're, even if you mess up in the corner, if you can get the line right, unless you mess up too much, but if you mess up a little bit, you can still come up out of the corner and keep it straight, and you'll probably be okay.
Well, got that truck to the end, second place run. Take us through the green flag pit stops tonight on the dirt track. How hard were they with that pit lane entry being right there off of turn number 4?
Well, the pit stops, that was awesome. The green flag pit stops, and it's a pretty good show, I think.
Yeah.
Dirt track, but my problem was I blowed first gear right at starting at the race, at the beginning of the race. So, which I didn't need it except for pit stop. And I mean, I always pit in first and watch my tack and all that. So I'm pitting in second. So I was pretty conservative because I was so if you had to come back in for a penalty, you're done. So I was a little conservative. So I lost some time to Jeff and Josh on that pit from where I was. I stayed out and led a lap, come back in the next lap, and then I knew I was going to have to be careful not to speed, but it wasn't bad. You just you practice that a couple times for the race, and it's a little tight getting in.
Well, you ran a masterful race here tonight, Jeff. Congratulations on the second place run. Before we let you go, though, you've been up here before. You know the drill. The floor is yours, buddy. Thank all those sponsors, family, friends.
Well, just had a blast tonight with that sun drop, getting it around the track pretty good. I think you guys putting a good show on like you do every time. And Steve and Dan Rubino putting up with all of us, some whiners and complainers, racers, every week in and week out. And the good job they do. And all the guys did a good job tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Jeff, as always, congratulations on the run. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck next week.
All right, thanks.
Driver engine number 9, Jeff Fugate, your second place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and finally bring in our third place finisher. He's the driver number 33, Mark DeSenza. Mark, do you got a copy?
Yeah, we got you.
I sense some disappointment there with the run tonight. Is that an accurate assessment?
It's like a happy sad.
Okay.
But I had made a little mistake there early on and fell back and had to kind of. Then we had some long greens. I had to try to work my way back, up there, which is pretty tough. And but congrats to Jeff. He ran good, and the other Jeff for second. I did kind of waited for somebody to make a mistake, but I'm pretty happy considering what had happened. I feel pretty good about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it there, the mistake early. Was it just the truck kind of got away from you a little bit? You had to catch it off that berm, and that's just so, weird with the way how it's a little bit raised. Was that just kind of... Am I getting that right? Because it looked like you saved it with the brake pedal, and by then you lose all your momentum, and it felt like momentum was really important on the dirt tonight.
Absolutely. And, you can keep that left front on that dark down there, and it's not too bad, but you get over a little too far, and it kind of wants to send you to pit road because it's got that hill. And I almost got into the wall. I didn't hit anything, but it just, I lost 6, 7, 8, 10 positions there. So, but other than that, it was really good setup. Just didn't have enough there at the end.
Well, I think you made a good call there too, because we saw you come down pit lane. Was part of that trying to do what you ended up doing with going longer before making that final pit stop to try to see if you could catch some guys maybe a lap down or so, or was that just, I'm already back here, I might as well come down pit lane?
No, they started pitting. I still had like 17 laps left, so I kind of hung out there and was still running pretty good laps and just hope that maybe a caution did come out, the catch really back up good. And then I actually had a pretty good pit, and I came out pretty close to Jeff and Jeff there. So, but it's about what I was doing.
And then obviously we have the caution late, bunches everyone back up. You have that battle there with Fugate and the number 9. He said he was just kind of running his own line, making sure that you weren't making too much ground on him. How important was it tonight to kind of be able to run your own line? How much did you have to search around the track when maybe someone was in your line?
Yeah, there was a couple little different ways to go around, but really if somebody ain't running, they're not running quite as fast, but, fast enough, it was just so hard unless they made a mistake or, somehow you got to run on them because there's just certain areas of the track there where it really was good. And if you had to veer out somewhere where you're not used to running, which, it's a little looser, but if you have to let off where you're usually on the gas, it gets a little loose there. So, it makes it tough to get a run on somebody.
A good run nonetheless, a rebound from the early almost spin, Mark. Congratulations on the podium finish. Before we let you go, though, floor is yours. Family, friends, sponsors. Go ahead and thank all those beautiful people that get you out to the racetrack.
I'd just like to thank Wrangler and you guys for putting on the broadcast and Hobo, Steve Rubio for, running the league and everybody. It's pretty fun.
Mark, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And once again, congratulations on the third place run.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mark DeSenza, driver the number 33, your third place finisher. A lot of threes there, Weaver. A lot of threes.
Absolutely, Joe. A lot of threes there. And we had a lot of good racing tonight, Joe. We've seen some good green flag pit stop action. A couple crazy flip wrecks, especially in happy hour. We saw a nice tumble there. But I hope everybody had some good fun with us to end off their weekend. Hope everybody at home had a nice, fun Father's Day and got to spend time with the people they love.
And folks, as always, we love it when you tune in here on JTN. Make sure if you haven't already, you drop a like on the video and subscribe. Next time we are live on JTN is going to be this Tuesday night. Maverick Cup Series action from Kentucky, where they take their July break, With all that being said, though, a very happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Again, as echo what Weaver said, hopefully you got the restful, relaxing Sunday spending time with your loved ones. But for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for Joseph Weaver, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh! Turn 4 into the trial. Whitehill and through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Off the line and a wreckage behind him. We have cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down. It doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Behind, they're going to be side by side again. Contact there between Sinner and Bordeaux for
Contact! Oakley into the wall. That's going to be Jack Healy coming to the line.
Jack Healy wins the ride to